He was very like pompous, gave like this like, you're down there, I'm up here, which I'm not surprised. I wasn't surprised about that. Most celebrities I've met have that energy of, you're down there, I'm up here, type of energy. Um, who else? Yeah, I've met a lot. Leonardo DiCaprio. Hi everyone, welcome back to No Light Tower. I'm doing a fun video this time. I'm doing something that I used to do last year, and I stopped doing it, just because life happened and so forth. But recently, the whole video that came out with Blake Lively and what's her name again, Parker Posey, kind of being rude to that journalist, inspired me to do these again. Because I've had some different interactions with celebrities. Now, some have been good. Most of them have not been the best experiences, but some of them have been really nice. And I want to start off with the nice ones, because I was actually watching that same journalist speak about how she was obsessed with Sex in the City, and it inspired me. Her name's Kirsty Fla, and check out her YouTube channel. It's very interesting. She talks about how she's interviewed different celebrities, and it's very fascinating, yeah. And I'm glad she didn't quit her job, because she said she wanted to quit after the interview with Blake Lively, and I'm glad she didn't quit. I'm really, really glad. It just proves to you, if you're being bullied or you're going through a hard time, keep going, because your better days are ahead of you. I strongly believe it. Strongly believe it. So, so it has inspired me to do this. And she was talking about Sex in the City, and with Sex in the City, obviously it was Sarah Jessica Parker and the other three ladies who were the main characters. And I actually met Sarah Jessica Parker. That's one of my really great experiences that I had with celebrity. I used to work at a restaurant in Tribeca. She came in with Andy Cohen, and I wasn't really expecting anything from her, actually. I knew someone who knew her husband very well, and I hadn't heard the best story, so I was like, let me just give her space, because I heard she was high maintenance, so I gave her space. I was actually kind of starstruck by Andy Cohen, and I never get starstruck. I wouldn't be starstruck anymore, but I was starstruck by him, and he had a very charismatic personality. He is a Sun in Gemini, and that's just their personalities. And he was okay. I mean, I found he was nice, but it was kind of fake. But she was very sweet, very, very kind. She double tipped me. She spoke to me in such a kind way and asked me genuinely how I was, asked me how the night was going. I was very surprised, and it made me just, even though I'm not crazy about Sex in the City, I never really have been. It's not really my kind of show. I was very impressed, and I really revered her after that, because like I said, I met a lot of celebrities, especially at that place that I worked at. I met a lot of them. Another great experience I had, and I spoke about this, I met, the owner had two restaurants on the same street. One was a bakery, one was fine dining. So in the morning I'd work at the bakery, at night I'd work at fine dining. So I met a lot of celebrities through there. Jessica Alba was very sweet, same with MIA. MIA was very, very lovely. And yeah, I've had other great experiences. I just can't remember off the top of my head. Also, Robin Givens was so sweet. She used to take my yoga class. Very, very lovely. Gavin Rossdale, too, was very sweet. Very kind. He's from Bush, I think it's called. I never had heard his music. I just know he was married to Gwen Stefani. It's very lovely. But yeah, so I met through, because I like them to have some kind of privacy from being with celebrities. I like to give them some kind of privacy. But I taught at many different studios: North Hollywood, Beverly Hills, Pasadena. Pasadena, I don't really meet too many celebrities. Silver Lake, Atwater Village. So through there, I met many celebrities, and those were just like the main ones. I used to do like events. I'd meet a lot of celebrities through there, and I've met a lot of nice celebrities, but also a lot of, well, mostly not so nice. I'd say mostly not so nice. So my not so nice experiences, actually, this reminded me of one of them when I met America Ferrera, and I didn't know who she was because I wasn't really into Sisterhood of Traveling Pants. And I met her. She came to a restaurant that I was working at. I touched on the story briefly, but she was just being very demanding. She asked for grilled vegetables, but she didn't want the vegetables to touch the same grill as the meat. And I explained because she said she was vegetarian. I was like, but that's not gonna happen. And we were the only restaurant, I believe, at that time open still. At that hour, it was around like 10 or so at night, almost 11, on a Sunday night. I remember it was Sunday. And she just made such a huge deal about it. Her friend was like looking at me like, I'm so sorry. I forgot what ended up happening. I forgot if we did it for her or not. I think she left. If I recall, I think she left. Yeah. That was... And it's so funny. The irony is that in the Blake Lively interview, she's like rolling her eyes at Blake Lively. And that triggered my memory of like, wait, I met her and she was not very nice. I also met Nathan Lane. He was very like pompous. Gave like this like, you're down there, I'm up here, which I'm not surprised. I wasn't surprised about that. Most celebrities I've met have that energy of, you're down there, I'm up here, type of energy. Who else? Yeah, I've met a lot. Leonardo DiCaprio, I spoke about that. He was, I don't want to fully say the story, but let's just say I got the energy because I was 23 at the time, and it was when he was dating Rihanna, because Rihanna's a year older than I am, and that was his era of just being kind of creepy. He was, in my opinion, he gave me very creepy vibes. He was creepy with me. Yeah, that's what I can tell you the most of. Somebody that I found was so sweet and so kind. He was a regular at one of the restaurants that I worked at. Was Josh Groban. Oh my gosh, he was delightful. Really, really lovely human being. Kind, thoughtful. You could just tell in his presence. I wonder what sun sign he is. I never looked that up. If I wasn't, I was engaged at the time. But if I wasn't, I would have dated him. I always say that. But he was lovely. For me, the most attractive thing about somebody is kindness. If somebody's kind, and he just had this glow and aura of kindness. He'd always overtip me. In fact, I would see him in the street sometimes on the way to work, because I think he worked around that area. He lived around that area. And he would wave at me, say hi. Just a very lovely, lovely human being. I do have an embarrassing story, though. I used to teach at this yoga studio. I'm not going to say where, because I think I don't want to give her location away. But when I first moved to LA, I used to teach at this yoga studio. And we also used to front desk some days, like to supplement my income. And I was front desking one time. I think it was around Thanksgiving. And so it was like a year into me living there. Yeah, it was Thanksgiving. No, it was the summertime, because I remember it was summertime. So it was around August. And one of the SNL actresses, I can't remember her name. I think I might have mentioned the story before briefly. But I was so mortified. There was this actress, and I used to watch SNL on and off throughout the years. I couldn't tell you, other than Jamie Foxx, I couldn't tell you the names of people that have been on SNL. Oh, and Norman MacDonald, of course, because he's one of my favorite comedians of all time. Other than that, I really couldn't tell you. Oh, Tina Fey too, because she was in Mean Girls. Other than that, I do not know a lot of the SNL people. I like, and Colin Jost, because he's married to Scarlett Johansson. But just a few names. I couldn't tell you like exactly who it was when. Some people can tell you that, but I couldn't. So this actress came in and I was like, "Oh, you look so familiar to me." And she was like, "I do." And I was like, "Yeah, you do." And I was like, "Did you live in New York?" And she was like, "Yes." And she mentioned the years. And I was like, "Oh my gosh, that's when I used to live in New York. I used to work in the Lower East Side." I was like, "I'm sure I met you then. I'm sure because you look so familiar to me." And I was like, because I always remember people's faces. And I told her, I always remember people's faces. And she was like, "Oh, really? Probably." And I was like, "Oh, yeah, so sweet." And she took a pamphlet and I told her, the hours and so forth and so forth. There's Bikram yoga, and she said she used to take Bikram yoga in New York. That's how we spoke about, New York. That's how we started speaking about New York. So the she leaves, and one of the teachers comes out, and he's like, that she's from SNL. And I was like, no, oh my gosh, I'm so embarrassed. That's probably where I knew her from. But she was so sweet to me, very very sweet. I think her name was like Kathleen, something like that. I'm the worst with comedians' names. Like I said, I'm the worst. But yeah, she was very, very sweet. Yeah, and that's, like I said, I met many of them. These are just standouts. I have met a few people. I met actually, what's her name? Rosie Perez. She was not very nice. She like looked me up and down and like was very rude to me. Who else? Joy Reid, which is also just a very New Yorker thing. New Yorkers are not the nicest people in general. At heart, New Yorkers are nice. When it comes to like just facades, they can be very like look you up and down. She wasn't very nice. She came in with her husband to eat at a restaurant I worked at. I met Leslie Bibb, Tom Rockwell. I met a lot. Like I said, a lot of them. Paul Rudd kind of let me down. It must not be easy being famous. I will say that, especially being close to some famous people. It must not be easy. I see it personally. I see it. I just have empathy. But I just don't believe in like behaving like you're all that. And he just gave me that like energy, which I didn't really like. I've also met a lot of British celebrities. Well, seen them, met them, and maybe it's culture, because I did grow up in South Africa and England, but in general, I've preferred more British celebrities than I have American ones, and not. I love living in America. I love this country, but it's just I don't like the pompous energy, and I feel like a lot of British celebrities don't have that. I met Ray Fiennes. He was so lovely, such a gentleman, really, really a gentleman. I met Colin Firth. He was also same thing, gentlemanly. I met a lot of British celebrities, and the main difference I can tell, there was actually an actress that I met. She was British, and I had no idea she was British. She opened her mouth, and I was like, "She's British?" I thought she was American. It's very interesting because that's what people did to me. So I was like, "Oh my gosh!" I can't remember which actress it was. If I see her, then I'll remember. It wasn't Amelia Clark. It was somebody around that age range, because Amelia Clark and I are the same age, but she's a little older than I am. I met Emma Watson, Renee Zellweger. Renee Zellweger seemed very sad, very, very sad. I feel for her. I think her life was not being easy. She was very, oh my gosh, I don't want to comment on people's physical appearances, but her health was concerning to me, just off the bat. Mentally, she didn't seem all there. I don't want to be mean, this is my opinion, that I empathize for her, I feel for her. She seemed very, very sad. And yeah, those are just a few stories that I have. I will jot down some more, and if you want to know more, if you want to hear more of these type of stories, please let me know. They're so fun to talk about because I don't know, I don't really get the chance to, and it is very interesting, just to remember my past life. Sometimes I still live because I still run into celebrities in general. Not that it's like everything, but it's just interesting to see the different persona of the person that you think that you knew versus the person that you encounter, But I will say the highlight of my video, and the reason why I wanted to make this was because Sarah Jessica Parker was so sweet to me. Very sweet. She smelled divine too. I was like, what's her perfume? And she was just so lovely, you know. And I thought maybe, you know, people can have bad days, you know. And I thought maybe the interviewer probably found her on a bad day, because she was very sweet to me. And you could tell it was naturally sweet. So yeah, please let me know if you want more of these, and I love you all. Thank you so much for watching. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe. Take care.